All right, it's that time. Welcome everyone to the latest Squirrel Livestream. My name is Penn Clark. I'm Director of Content here at Squirrel Systems. Today I'm joined by Cyrus Sai, who's our Director of Product Marketing, um, and soon to be joined by Bob Aleva, who's a member of our product management team. He's going to be demoing a preview of Squirrel Cloud's enterprise management capabilities. Now, when I say preview, just want to be clear, these are not available in general availability as of yet. They are in production, and we have a number of sites um, helping us fine-tune the details. So we are expecting these to be available soon, um, probably in the next couple of quarters at the latest. But what you're seeing today um, is still pre-general availability. Um, Couple of housekeeping items. One, you're more than welcome to ask questions. We'd love to hear from you. To do so, you can just use the YouTube chat. Note on that, you do need to be logged in either on a YouTube or a Google account. And that chat will be available. We'll be taking the questions at the end, but feel free to ask anytime. Or you can DM me, and I will refer those questions to either Bob or Cyrus, as applicable. Also, if you enjoyed this, we have our first and second episodes are available on our live stream um, channel, on our YouTube channel. They are identified as live streams. This one will also be available there. So if you want to share it with a friend or a colleague, feel free to come back once we've trimmed out some of the starting soon stuff at the beginning. That should be up by tomorrow morning. Um, with that, I'm going to jump right into the demo and turn it over to Bob. Bob, here you go.
All right, thank you, Ben. Welcome, everyone. Today I'll be showcasing the Squirrel Cloud Enterprise, which enables multi-location businesses to seamlessly manage operations across various sites, improving both efficiency and consistency. Our enterprise solution is built around three key elements: stores, store groups, and the application filter. What you're viewing right now is what our back office URL configuration is. This is one login for the entire client enterprise. The stores are created within this client and managed within this client. So jumping into stores, a store represents an individual location within the enterprise system. Each store operates independently, allowing for localized management, but is also part of the larger enterprise framework. This setup ensures scalability and adaptability to meet varying business needs while maintaining consistency across all locations. So what we're looking at here is a list of stores. And if I wanted to edit a store, I would simply click on it and it would bring up its specifications and I can edit any of those stores. The other way, if I wanted to add a new store, so let's say I'm adding a new store to my Acorn Alley, I would simply go to Add New Store, and it comes up to prompt me for filling in all of the required fields. So I can put in a store name, a store number. I select a reference store. This is part of my Acorn Alley. And then I select these other options that I have to fill in. So the fiscal start date, day of the week I want my reporting to start on, countdowns, whether they're store department level, accounting cycles, business day start time. That's when you want your transaction date to kind of roll over. If you already have store groups set up, you can select which store groups that is a part of. And then country as well. And then there's some others that are not required, but you can fill in address, city, that stuff. And then you add the store. So now I have this another store here. Once you have stores, your next element is the store group. So a store group is defined as it's a collection of individual stores grouped together for streamlined management configuration. So with store groups, you can apply changes simultaneously across multiple locations. For example, if a business with 4 stores, say, wants to standardize pricing, taxes, etc., for 2 of those stores, you can create a group with just those 2 stores within that group, and any changes made within that group with the application scope automatically apply to only those stores, right, within that group. The flexibility also extends to specific use cases such as test kitchens or locations with unique menus. This is allowing businesses to create distinct groups with tailored configurations. So I have a few groups here. And to explain, I created a group for county tax. So in the states where you have state and county taxes, state taxes could be different, but if you're in the same state, you have a state tax, and then within the county, you might have different county taxes. So within this one group here, you see I have 3 stores. So any changes that I wanted to make, like say if there was a tax change, I don't have to go into each individual store. I can just select this group because I've created this group for that purpose. And then I also have something called a menu group for these stores. So this is where, it's not the taxes that I'm changing, it's the menus, right? So even though these other stores are in different groups, that store group and that change only affects what that change was at the time, right? So I can go in and I can change a menu item throughout here, and it won't affect the individual taxes because I didn't change them. And that is all done through what we call our application scope. So if I go into, say, taxes, for example, and I have these kind of taxes set up, and this is my application scope, and I wanted to look at county taxes. Right now, I'm in a group called corporate group. That group is the entire enterprise. So if I select that group and I go into the county tax, you'll notice that here in the tax percentage, it says multiple taxes found. That's because I have multiple taxes within all of the stores within this group. I could look at the summary tab that shows me what those taxes are. Now, let's say I wanted to, or I needed to change taxes within a specific group. So let's say I'm going to go to that group of group number 1. And then when I look at the county tax, now I see that that's the same tax within that entire group, right? So if I was needing to change this, let's say they were going to change their taxes, I change it once here for this entire group, and it'll get changed. Same thing that is in effect for like menu items. So if I have menu items that are global, so I have a 10-ounce filet, and I can change the tax groups. I can change the prices per particular tax groups. So it's the same premise here, where if there are different prices, you see that you have a flag here, the status flag that says what your prices are within your groups. So if I look at a particular group, so if I look at, say, my test kitchens, for this 10-ounce filet, they're $30. But if I look at a different group, let's say I go to my US stores, they're $35. So this relates to how the front of house app will order these items that front of house app logs into an individual store, and that individual store is mandated and configured by this application scope. You can also go down as granular as to a specific store. So if I wanted to look at just one store, then I can do one store and I can change just that one particular store. So this application group is a great filter. It's a tool for flexible configurations. It will enable any sort of needs or requirements that that particular enterprise should have. Okay, and that is the end of this product demo.
Awesome.
Any questions?
Yeah, thank you, Bob. There is actually a question on the grouping that you were demoing. Excuse me. The question is, are the groups many to many? In other words, can one store be a member of multiple groups and inherit the changes that are made in those groups via, say, a menu grouping and a tax grouping and, say, a regional grouping?
Right, that's a great question. Yes. So as you see here, we have, and I've kind of named them to make it a little more obvious. So I have certain stores here that these are stores grouped by location. So Alberta stores, BC stores. I also have those same stores grouped into different menu configurations. Like here's a standard menu is stores 2, 3, and 4, and then I have my test kitchens here as well. And this can be as intricate as you want. So when you go in and look at a store group, you can also place a store group within a group. So multiple stores can be in different groups. The key is that the application scope is whatever change I make is the only thing that will affect that group. So even though I might have, like this tax may be different from this tax, store's tax may be different. If I don't change those taxes within that bigger group, then they won't get changed, right? It's only the change that I make. So if this was a menu item change, then I would make that menu item change and everything else would stay the same.
Gotcha. Okay. And so there's another question that I think is somewhat related to that, which is, can you explain for the folks watching what attributes at both the store and group level you're able to manage here? We talked about sort of menus, pricing, and taxes. Are there any other sort of site or store attributes or group attributes that can be managed through this app?
Yeah, there are several. So when you're looking at an application scope, the application scope is now for bigger things like menus and menu prices and taxes. But you can also filter promotions. You can filter employee access. You can filter all of those things as well.
Right. Okay. So most of the things that people can currently do in their site-specific site attributes or attributes in the cloud product are somewhat available at the cloud enterprise management level.
Right. And here's one of the other things that is important with menu entries. So menu entries are global across the corporate database, right? This ensures consistency across all stores. However, menu item availability is controlled by a status flag, right? So let's say that this particular menu item might not be available in a particular group or a particular store. So I can select that particular group and say, let's say they're not available in the BC stores. And I can go and I can deactivate this menu item for this group only, right? So when I save that, that apple pie is no longer going to be available for those stores within that group. But if I go into another group, then that same menu item can be active. So this ensures that's great for like test kitchens where you may have special items in a test kitchen versus a standard menu.
Right, okay, that makes sense. Okay, two more questions. One for you, Bob, lastly, and then I think the last one, Cyrus, is probably a better person to answer. Um, is there within the product the way to restrict or I guess set different levels of permissions for users who are able to make different changes? So, for instance, one person might have a management level that allows them to do menu pricing but not tax changes.
Yeah. So in our users, so there's different different things. Employees are POS related. Those are the numbers that you're going to input into the POS at a store level. Users are the Active Directory logins that get you into this back office, right? So I can have this particular user, and within those users, I can have special permissions. So I can say that a user can only access one store. I can say a user can access a group. I have these permissions here to control what stores a user gets to. And then on top of that, I have the user roles. So each user is assigned a user role, and that user role is then defined to what they can
Right.
do within that back office. So they can get to certain screens or they can't get to certain screens. So this is all user-based permissions for the back office.
Terrific.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you, Bob. Cyrus, the last question I'm going to pass on to you because I think it's more in your wheelhouse. It is a question of, as a current Squirrel user who's been looking at the cloud and I'm interested in particular in this enterprise management product, I know you say it's preview and it's not currently available. Is there any insight into when this might hit general availability?
So we're really excited to be working closely with a number of restaurant groups today to deploy the enterprise management capabilities you saw. As they put it through its paces and provide feedback, we're planning to make it gradually available to more customers over the next 3 to 6 months. If you are interested in having a more detailed discussion about how these tools can fit within your operation, just reach out to your Squirrel rep and we'll be in touch.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Bob, for an insightful and rapid fire tour of the Cloud Enterprise Management tool. Exciting to see it coming along. For those of you who may have a question, didn't get it in, or it comes to you later, absolutely feel free just to email info@squirrelsystems.com or drop a comment on this video. We do monitor those and we'll get back to you. We are doing these on a bi-weekly basis. So if you want to hit follow and the little bell icon, or subscribe rather, and the little bell icon beside it, that'll notify you of when we post new content and when we go live with our live streams. And watch our socials because we always promote those on there. And we will see you in a couple of weeks. Enjoy your weekend. Bye all.